The first three quarters of chapter 7 of the House of Mrth, where we get the fallout. Um, this is the next day, and Lily is getting reamed out by Mrs. Trenner, her friend, because she's completely mucked things up. She hung out with Larry Selden, which angered uh, other woman who basically then went who had the hots for I can't remember who what name it was, and she immediately went to Percy Grice and spilled the beans, all the incriminating evidence, including that she has gambling debts, which is apparently the thing that really freaked him out. And he has fled. He has fled, most likely back to his mother. And she's just completely, that's it. You're poisoned thoroughly, completely fucked up. And she started off kind of going like, "Oh, I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'll work it out." But by the end, her friend, yeah, it's like, oh, "Fuck, yeah, this is the outside point of view. I've completely fucked things up. That's not going to happen. God damn it." And she's in this position where, like, even her friend Miss Trenner, who is like, "You've screwed things up." It's like she is super rich. She does not realize all the mounting bills, all the grind of being basically impoverished what is that doing to Lily, especially when you're trying to do it within amongst a whole bunch of all your friends are super rich. Um, and it's like, what is she going to do? There's a divorced lady there, and she can just borrow money from her friends' husbands because she's divorced. But it's basically she's not unmarried. She's not an unmarried woman like Lily, or maybe she's married, but I don't know how it works. But she can borrow money, substantial amounts, probably to pay the alimony of her husband's, enough to pay the alimony of her husband with other her friends why her friends husbands wives. But Lily does not have that options open to her. Now Lily gets sent on a errand to pick up Miss Trenner's husband, Gus Trenner, who seems like he's very much more of kind of a um, he's a Wall Street guy. He seems a little bit more. I don't know if he's not a bit more humble beginnings, not as a bit more far off from humble beginnings. And he talks to her about like how I've got to kind of make to keep all this going, this vast estate of Bellomont. I've got to take flyers on stuff every once in a while. I get basically inside information. And who's he getting inside information from? Rosedale. And he asks Lily, "Could you put in a word to Miss Trenner for me? Because if I can get up here for dinner, I can just basically get any information out of him whatsoever." And really, we should do this because this guy will soon be worth more than all of us, and we'll be letting him in anyways. So we should do it now when he'll be grateful to us, and we can get like $1 million tips from him. And she's really recoils from Rosedale. It's interesting that he's like, well, why do people have a problem with him? Yeah, he's shiny and fat and stuff like that. Does not mention that he's Jewish, which I think is definitely the thing that everyone else is thinking, but he doesn't have a problem with it. He just sees it strictly as a money thing. Um, you know, Maybe it would be a different thing if they wanted to marry his daughter or something like that. I don't know if they have daughters. Um, but she completely recoils from the whole thing. You've got a heroine here who's completely anti-Semitic as well. She recoils from the idea of having him, but she's like, oh, getting tips perhaps from Gus Trenner and investing in stocks, that stuff myself. Maybe I can do that. Which maybe is gonna find out. It's like, well, that's basically also akin to gambling, and how well will that go for you as well? It's like Gus Trenner probably does it. He's got a lot of money, so he can afford to lose money as well as get it. He doesn't have that desperation thing. So yes, that's where we're at. It's definitely material. How can I rescue myself? Okay, here's the way that maybe I can make money. And its vagueness seems to diminish its indelicacy, because you have to make money, but you have to do it in a way that's going to be socially acceptable within your society. There's all these. the things like, when she says she can't borrow money from her friends' husbands, it's because, oh, well, that would get looked down upon. That would be a scandal. It would imply like I'm their mistress or something like that. Whereas the other, is it Crosby? Miss Crosby can do that because she's divorced, which is interesting in itself. All right, that is the House of Mirth, three quarters of the way through chapter 7.